Rules made easy.
So next up we have our gallery. The gallery is user submitted mapping jobs. Some of them we've done just to kind of get things started, but a lot of this data was submitted by existing customers and then people that kind of wanted to get on the site earlier. So anything you make you can add to the gallery, and kind of let people see what you're up to. So here's a couple quick examples. This one was, again, customer submitted data. This is a fully manual georeferenced map. As you can see, the edges line up pretty well. And this was done with this base map, so it's hard to get good accuracy with this being your base map. You have this much data. We'll show examples of this later on. But again, this is the kind of map that you can share in your site. You can share with others. You can see it on the street maps here. You can go back to satellite view. You can hide the layer that you created and see what's behind it. That's actually pretty interesting to do sometimes. So you can kind of zoom in on something and see what was there before, whenever this satellite imagery was taken, and then put your overlay in and see how much better quality it is. You can really zoom in pretty deep here, and see the difference. This one's probably hundreds of times higher resolution, or 100 times higher resolution than the other version. So I'm going to go back here, go back to the gallery. This one was pretty interesting. This was just a stitch that was done. Not georeferenced. There probably will be a georeferenced version of it fairly soon. But this is an aerial stitch, that's not georeferenced. That's why it has this black background. Basically, georeferencing is just saying that, okay, this is where it is on the Earth, and you give it a couple points and say, okay, this point here equals this point on the Earth, either with manual GPS points, or with by dropping a pin on a map. So there's some other interesting ones here. Some of them are kind of people just sticking flying around their neighborhood in a circle and taking. This is not good data. This is let's go with this is terrible data. It looks like they did one lap around their neighborhood. They probably live somewhere right here, and you can see it kind of shooting off in all directions. That's not good data. That would not georeference well. Generally you want all your images to be straight down. But there's some cool stuff. It's fun to see what everybody. Next up is the samples page. I'm sure everybody's seen this. It's the same page that we had up for the Kickstarter. It talks about the outputs that are possible with the system. These are samples of a GeoTIFF, which is a georeferenced TIFF image. Again, the sizes are huge. This is why you want to do this processing in the cloud and not on your home computer, because a lot of people's computers can't even open a 2.5 gigabyte TIFF. We have some pretty hot computers and they don't like it. We offered DEM, which is a digital elevation model, which will show heights if it was georeferenced. Google Earth KMZ, which is a file you can open in Google Earth, and it'll kind of show up as an overlay. It makes it easy to share. It's slightly lower quality, which is why the file size is slightly smaller, but it's still very convenient to send around. And then we also generate 3D models. So it's an object file, a material file, and a texture file, and those can be brought into Maya, and it's an equivalent file type to be used in SketchUp and things like that. So again, these samples, it's the same sample from the front page, our big huge sample. This is just another georeferencing sample. The good thing about the samples page is it tells you a little bit about how it was made, how many images, what kind of camera, and this one had 2 layers, so it had 2 different cameras, which is kind of cool. And then a couple just interesting ones. This one was really, really huge. I think it was like 600 something images. And the interesting thing about it is it was actually taken without mapping in mind. It was really just flying around. The area probably could have been done in a whole lot less than 606 images, but getting more overlap is better than not having enough overlap. And we'll go over overlap when we talk about the point estimator. But you can see the level of detail that was attained here, slightly better. So it's cool stuff. And more samples. Yeah, so this kind of gives you an idea of what's what this site's capable of.
Rules made easy.